This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 602 for May 6th, 2019. Hit by a boat cop.
Boat.
He was just making sure that I was safe.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
And our brand new third chair. He just did 3 weeks, and now he's going to do 10 to life. I don't know what the rest of that sentence was. The Nymph. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
So he's going to be our permanent third chair here on TVGP. And then Monkey Sr., who did 3 weeks before that, he's going to be joining us over on We Roguelike It. So we're going to have 3 peeps on each show. Game Club's going to stay the same. And we're going to keep making some great content for, 398 more episodes. Haha.
Yep.
I think that's it. If you're a patron, patreon.com/E1M1, go vote for the newest Game Club game. There are 3 really good choices this month. And I just checked. It was neck and neck. So...
Oh, I haven't voted yet. I disabled my patron notifications because I was getting emails and patron notifications.
Whoops. Hey, we put out a lot of stuff for we patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers.
It's not just us, it's everything else as well.
But we're the most important, don't forget.
Yes.
All right, let's dive right into it. Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, let's start with Sleepy Dogs.
Yes.
I finished the story on Sleepy Dogs.
Nice.
Now I am in full-on clean-up achievement hunting mode.
Have you started the DLC?
I've done the car DLC.
Okay, I've never done any of the DLC in that game. I should.
I think I might have done the DLC on the original version. I definitely did the Kung Fu Tournament one on the original version.
Oh, maybe I did that one. Because I think that one is baked into some of the experience.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But yeah. I haven't started any of that yet. Don't think I've got any of that stuff installed. I think because if you install all of that, you've got an additional 56,000 things on your map, and it's just and I don't need any of that stuff right now.
Right.
I was an idiot though, and I didn't do the worst part of Sleepy Dogs is the quote unquote romance storylines.
Oh, where you can romance Emma Stone.
Yes, Emma Stone and 4 other people all at the same time, and then you get annoyed when one of them calls you out on your cheating.
I remember that where he's like, are you seeing other women? And he's like, ugh, whatever. It's just wait a minute, man.
Yeah, it's the biggest downside of that game for me is that storyline. But I forgot, when you go on dates with those people, it unlocks the collectibles on your map.
Oh, right.
Why didn't I do that as soon as I got their phone numbers? Yeah. I don't know.
Because it's not a Persona game.
True. So pretty much all I've got left now is Achievement Tidy and DLC, which includes the stupid Day of the Living Dead DLC, which I've never done.
I've heard that one's okay, but I've never done it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the purse collecting incident to see whether or not I can pick them up. There's a really deep giant bomb cut for all you fans out there.
Pick up the purse.
Yep.
God, that's a classic cut.
So I'm looking forward to jumping into that, but it's just been one of those things. I beat the story mode. I really do like that game story. It's way shorter than I thought it was.
Okay.
I seem to remember it being a 70-hour game all told. It's the story's only 10 hours if you really fly through it.
That's kind of nice though.
Yeah, it is. And I did kill someone with a fish to get the achievement for that, which is always good. But no, it's Sleepy Dogs. I got my stupid car with the car DLC. My wife saw me playing it, and I'd already unlocked the car at that point. For those of you who don't know, it's a series of missions that you get where you basically end up with James Bond's car.
Right.
It does more ramming damage. It has the built-in EMP, and then when you get the final upgrade for it, it has 2 LMGs that come out, or 2 miniguns that come out the top of the car.
That's right. Oh man, that car is awesome.
And I was doing races in that thing and just ramming people off the road with its extra ramming stuff. You can just take everybody out. It's fantastic.
Oh man.
And you may or may not be able to shoot your minigun at fellow racers and, give yourself a competitive edge.
Just like Wipeout.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you get
rubbing is racing.
You get like Caltrips or an oil slick or something?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
The stupid machine guns on the top, like, they don't come out the front. They literally come out like the glowing doors on the DeLorean and then just come out the top. And then it's a full 360-degree view you can do with them.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
It's so dumb and so much fun.
Sleepy Dogs is so good.
It's one of the most ridiculous yet fun, stupid, serious games you'll play in a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sleepy Dogs, it's fun. Brainless Gaming continues with Star Wars The Force Awakens, the Lego game.
Okay. Boy, how am I going to rate this one? Star Wars TFA.
Lego Star Wars TFA.
Lego.
Yes. Honestly, I've already beat the campaign in that game. Now it's just about tidy up. But then, because I beat the campaign, it's one of those games where you load in and it's got like the different worlds. Like you can go to Jakku and you can go to the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And here is 50,000 different missions that you can do on those places, and let alone inside of the actual levels themselves.
What do you think about the campaign of that one? Because that one left me a little cool.
It was okay. It wasn't anything special. It doesn't help that it's only based on one movie.
Yeah.
That's its biggest downfall, because at this point you're looking at the Harry Potter games and it's 1 to 4 and then 5 to 8.
Right.
You're looking at Indy and it's all of the Indiana Jones movies. You look at the previous Star Wars games and it's episodes 1 to 3 and
the two trilogies.
4 to 6. It's
right.
Everything's got so much built into it. There's some things I don't like. I don't like the stupid multi-build from the single pile of Lego.
God, I forgot about that. That was... And it was always like, all right, I'm going to tear this one down. That wasn't the right one. I'm going to build it up right the other direction. Nope, I built the first one again. Let me do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, built the first one again. All right, let's... Come on.
My personal favorite is the one on the left is the mini kit. The one on the right is to progress. You build the one on the right, you progress, you're locked out from getting the mini kit.
That's right.
So,
yeah, I was a little bummed out by how much the game relied on retelling Return of the Jedi. Like, that's how the game starts, and it's like, this is okay. I guess we'll do Return stuff again.
Yeah, it's got the Battle of Endor, and then the Death Star fight, and then suddenly jumps into TFA. It's like, you should have just waited. Just do a new trilogy game.
Right, just start me on Jakku, and then, like, go from there.
I love the fact that they somehow managed to get all of either really good sound alikes or the actual voice cast to come in and do additional lines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure at that point Daisy Ridley was cheap to get to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe they were just fans. But yeah, it's really cool to actually go and see that stuff. It's a fun game. It's a Lego game. I don't know about NIMP, but me and Boston are the last two people over 30 proclaiming the gloriousness of Lego games.
Right.
I really enjoyed playing them, and I actually own all of them because my son and daughter started playing them too. So I left the 360 out in the living room, and that's pretty much what they play.
Smart. Yeah. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, Force Awakens is probably like that middle tier of Lego games. It's good. You're not going to feel like you wasted your time, but it's nothing like, the Harry Potter ones, the Marvel Avengers. Like, those are the top ones. These ones are... Force Awakens was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, it's not great so far. I mean, it's got all of the additional characters in them because I got it on super cheap sale. I also got the DLC Gold Edition, which has got everything included in it. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll have classic Millennium Falcon right next to regular Millennium Falcon from TFA, sure, whatever.
Right.
It makes me realize how much I love The Force Awakens as a movie. Like, I genuinely love that movie.
I like that movie a lot, too. I tried to make my kid watch it, and she was like, no thanks. Try again next year.
Not enough bright colors in it, yeah.
Yeah, not enough singing. She's 2.5, so, like, if there's no singing, she's not interested.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about them adding voices to the Lego games? Because I really haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about that, but I kind of liked how they didn't have voices in the beginning. I don't mind the voices at all, but I kind of liked the fact that, especially with like the Lord of the Rings ones, where they're trying to show you this and they're basically just doing it all on movements, and they show like, this thing. They're like,
Yeah. For the original ones, I loved it when they animated the scene so well, and so they characterized everything that was going on without using voices. It was amazing. I feel like when it got to stuff like the Hobbit ones, and they're literally cutting lines from the movie to the point where you can hear the movie background in the actual voice lines, it's like, that's lazy.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like, if you're going to do the voices, at least get them to come in and do the voices. Don't just cut lines from the movie, because that just feels terrible.
Yeah. And I feel like they ran into a tough time because, like, with the original Lego trilogy, or the Star Wars trilogy, you know those movies by heart. So if they riff on it a little bit, it's kind of fun, and you're kind of like, oh, right, that's cool. Like, they did a little bit. But I think for some of the newer stuff, they, especially, like, the Marvel stuff they're getting into, because they're telling such a different story from the cinematic universe, I feel like they have to get voice actors in at that point. And that's what's really fun, is like you get someone to really ham up Mysterio, and it's like just really chew those lines apart, and it's like, all right, that was pretty good.
It also helps that they get a lot of the animated series versions of the characters. Like, I know the guy who does the Batman animated series, he did it for the Lego Batman movies, and then he came in again and did it for the Lego Batman games. It's like, that's good. Get people who have an established connection with them, like the Luke Skywalker. Why am I forgetting his name?
Mark Hamill.
Thank you. They had him come in and do the Joker lines for the Lego Batman game.
It's like that's who you want.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like you've got the guy who does the voice to come in and do the voice, and he does a Mark Hamill thing, which is he performs excellently in that kind of thing.
Right.
But I love them when they didn't have them. I love them when they specifically do custom like voices for them. I hate the mid ground where it's just chop this from the film, put this here kind of thing.
Yeah. I think Lego the Pirates of the Caribbean did that too. There was like 2 or 3 games that did that, and I think everyone gave them feedback of like, that's not going to work. Like that's not that's not great.
I think it was Vinny who put it best. Like, I don't know how I ever remembered this, but Vinny from Giant Bomb was talking about this. Like, they added the voices in, and he played it with his son at the time, I think it was, and it freaked him out because the Lego people had voices, but then it didn't bother his son because I think his son actually explained it as they've always been talking, because he's a kid, so he gives them voices and makes them talk.
Interesting.
So it made sense from the kid's perspective that they talk, because they already do in his imagination.
Right. That's cool.
Whereas Vinny was just like, no, they should not talk. It's like,
sacrilege.
They need to be sacrificed right now and exorcise the demons from these Lego toys.
Interesting.
Now, with that said, how do you guys feel about silent protagonists?
I play a lot of JRPGs, so I'm pretty used to it.
What about you, Moon?
I prefer them to have a voice.
Okay.
Depending on the game. If you are going to give me a cipher to put myself into, silent protagonist is fine. The original Red Faction games, that's me escaping Mars, that's fine.
Right.
If you're going to give me a character I'm playing as, Shepard, Jensen from Deus Ex, I am playing their storyline and giving it my twist. Give them voices.
Interesting.
I was just curious if there was kind of a connection between the two a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not a headcanon guy. I tend to just enjoy the story as I'm going along, but giving... Like, you can go one of the two ways. Like, if you give them a voice, then you're giving those people a voice for the people who create headcanon for this universe, for these characters. And if you don't, you're giving them leeway to create their own voices for it.
Right.
I think the issue is around someone not having a voice, and then 3 games down the line, you suddenly decide to give them a voice.
Right.
Isaac from Dead Space is a good example of this. Like, in the first game, like, he barely talks except for
right
as you're stomping
my
on
girlfriend.
People. Yes, and then all of a sudden in the third Dead Space, he's Chatty Cathy talking to his imaginary friends and everything that's going on there.
His co-op partner. Pill's here.
Yes. So, I mean, give me voices. Ideally, give me voices. I want to play your story in my way. That's how I prefer to do it. I played Dead by Daylight. the Poop Your Pants multiplayer horror game. They have a double XP weekend, which ends tomorrow. So if you all want to play it, get some bonus blood points in, go ahead. Get yourself in there now. That game is still so much fun. I don't know how they've done it. Like, where Friday the 13th failed, probably because you need 13 people to play it.
Right.
This is succeeded on such a different level, and the fact that they've just recently added in like another 3 of their own killers to it.
Wow.
Like weird glass lady who comes out of mirrors. You've got youth with a mask on, who is your stereotypical slasher movie kind of bad guy, and now they've got creepy vomiting lady as well.
Right.
So character design is amazing.
I think that's their smartest choice they've made, which is we're going to start making our own horror villains.
Well, I think when the game first came out, there was like 4 or 5 like killers in it, and they were all knockoffs of licenses.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like they originally had like the Trapper, who's a guy who's got like he's got very clearly got like a horror movie like kind of vibe to him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had like the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but there's one who has a chainsaw in there who is very much a rip-off of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
Yeah, like the Dream Master Fredder.
Yes, exactly. But then they get the license to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, so now they've got 2 dudes with chainsaws who operate completely differently.
Right.
Because one is kind of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, and the other one just is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. What is it? It's not the Shape, because the Shape is Michael.
I never remember.
I wish I could remember. Oh, who knows? But they've got such a variety of everything going on in there. Like, honestly, it's just a fun game to just jump in and play. And especially on a double XP weekend, you're gonna get the rubes. You're gonna get the people who are like, "Oh, I haven't played this in 20 years," like me.
Ha 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 ha.
So they're gonna mess things up for you. So just go in go in and have a good time. And if you want to play, send me a message. I'll play.
Yeah.
Let's get 4 survivors together, and if we can get 5 people, let's kill our friends.
You're right. Officer.
Please don't take that out of context.
Right.
I do have paperwork to fill out.
Right.
Please don't take that out of context. No, it's Dead by Daylight. We talked a lot about this. Like, the game is fun. It's dumb. It's really somehow super suspenseful and super like fun to play at the same time. Like, honestly, I think you would like it, Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you get one of the licensed people, that would be when you freak out. Because
Probably.
when you get Michael's level, and then all of a sudden he has no terror radius, so you don't hear him coming until he's literally on top of you. And then all of a sudden you just hear those piano notes hit. You're
no.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm running.
Gotta go.
Well, yeah, Dead by Daylight it's a really fun, stupid multiplayer game, and like, hit me up. Xbox Live, Moonpier, PlayStation. Can't remember what my name is there.
I think Moonpier US.
Probably.
I think so.
Someone stole my name, and I'm not happy about it. Yeah, hit me up. We have everything on the Xbox. Like, if you wanna play games with us, just send us a message. Ideally, I'd like to do it like once a week, just like maybe Saturday nights. Like, because my wife is the pro at this game, so
start another game night.
Exactly. So hit me up. Let's get something going. Let's start playing some Dead by Daylight. And if we get 5, we get 5. We can all slice and dice each other for fun, which is dumb. And my final game this week, and it has to be mentioned. Boston, click that pen, get it ready.
It starts at 39 minutes and 17 seconds.
Because I finally fucking beat Isaac.
Yay!
Oh my word.
You are now a platinum god.
I am now a real platinum god. Thank you very much.
My apologies.
Yeah, I think I talked about it last week. I finally got the blue candle.
Yes.
So all I needed was the seraphim that wasn't the seraphim.
The other one, yeah.
Yes. And then I had 4 secrets left to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just doing greed ones with Azzy, trying to get my my angel rooms and get my seraphim. I was like, let's do like 40 greed runs with Azzy. Sure, why not? Let's just
get chaos, hope for the best.
Plugging away at it. So I ended up getting D20.
Aha, okay.
And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try and use D20 and try and basically... I had a battery on the store on that floor as well. So I was like, okay, this is the chance for me to break this game.
Yes.
If I can just keep rolling out the shops, like re-rolling them, like, because I had a coin donation machine in there, and I can use the D20 in the main room to just keep generating coins and keys and...
Right, just don't pick up the coins, and you're well on your way.
Exactly. An hour and 20 minutes later...
Wow.
In a greed run on the same floor.
Wow.
For the record, greed runs are usually, 15, 20-minute runs?
At the most.
So I am just going into the store, recharging my D20, coming back out of the store into the main room, opening every single chest, collecting coins, going in. Like, I left the bombs, the hearts, the keys, everything else I left on the floor so I could re-roll them into more money so I could keep buying the items in the store.
Right.
Hoping for chaos.
Right.
I got chaos.
Yes.
After about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then it was another 30, 40 minutes of me literally going back into the store, re-rolling that main room again, getting the coins, leaving enough so I could re-roll them all over again, going back into the shop and buying every single item that was there. Okay, I've got chaos. And then I went in and I had 99 coins. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I bought the left of, because it's got 2 items in the shop that are the upgrade kind of items. I kept on buying the left one just for fun. I had 6 angel items in a row. I had every angel item except for Godhead and the one I needed.
Right.
I was like, great. Now it's giving me all of the Devil Deal Room items instead.
God. Let's just exhaust every item pool.
I ended up breakfasting at least 2 or 3 pools because at one point I went full red heart, then I got Abaddon, which takes you down to 6 black hearts.
Right.
And then I went all the way back up to full red hearts again because I just kept getting stupid bloody breakfast. Finally, the thing shows up and I'm like, oh, at last I have my Seraphim. I picked
Praise
it up.
Edmund.
And then I was scared because I made the mistake of firing. And it was so ridiculous that my screen filled with like bright lights and rotating scythes and beams coming off me in all directions. Like, oh no. I need to go and either die or be super greed.
Right.
Before this game crashes.
Before you run out of memory.
Because, funnily enough, on that run as well, I also somehow managed to get the blank card and the sun card, which give me the Bright Baby, which was one of the secrets I was missing, was Bright Baby, which is use blank card when you have the sun card in your hand.
It's like the stupidest achievement in that game.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to give this a go, and I clipped it. So when this episode goes up, I might end up like responding with a clip of the ridiculousness that happened when I started firing.
Right.
I got to Super Greed, I beat Super Greed, I left, it's like, okay, you've got 274 or 276 items. I was like, that's every item I need 4 more secrets.
Okay.
I got Bright Baby, I got 4 more secrets left. Platinum God is one of the secrets.
Okay.
Real Platinum God is one of the secrets.
Halfway there.
1001% is one of the secrets.
Okay.
Super Meat Boy is the only secret I needed.
Aha, okay.
I don't like playing as Lilith.
Okay.
Lilith is the cheat way to get Super Meat Boy, essentially. Because Super Meat Boy is you get a cube of meat. If you collect another one, it upgrades it to a different item. Upgrade it again, turns into a guy who runs around. Upgrade it again, turns it into Super Meat Boy. Lilith can cheat that by basically using her double your friend skill to give it that upgrade naturally.
Right. You just need to find like 2 batteries in your set.
Or play greed mode.
Ah.
So 20 runs of greed mode later with Lilith.
Which is a nightmare in and of itself.
Yeah. I finally get... I'm sitting there, I'm like... It was literally like 20, 21 runs later. I was like, this is my last run. I'm going to take a break because this was like 11:10 at night, and my rule is Xbox gets turned off at 11. All electronics turned off at 11, so I can start to wind down for sleep. I was speaking to my wife earlier that day, and I was like, I just got the other collectible item I need. Like, I got Bright Baby, and then I got Seraphim, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, I could do this tonight. I could get every achievement for Isaac.
And she's like over there like, yep, sounds great.
Pretty much. But she understands, like, she knows the amount of time I put into this game. She knows how big of a deal.
She knows it's your white whale.
Yes. So, I was like, I'm not going to play anything else. I'm just going to do greed runs with Lilith. Like, 11, 10, 21 runs later, whatever. I'm just like, this is my last run. I keep dying. I keep making stupid mistakes. And it's really hard to get her damage upgraded, like, really early in greed mode. So, I got the coins I needed on one floor. I think I had 30 coins exactly. And, like, I was about to drop down to the next floor. Ran across this item to get myself more damage for the next floor. And Cube of Meat shows up. I was like, I have 15 coins. I have exactly 15 coins. Very carefully move over this and collect Cube of Meat for the next floor. Went down to the next floor, started killing people. As soon as I could, I was like, give me that ability. I need to get this upgraded fast before I die. Upgraded it, and immediately I got that pop-up saying, Platinum God, 1001%, Real Platinum God. Finished the run, I was like, did the achievements pop? Because I didn't get any achievements.
Right.
I was like, I must have to finish the run. So I went and I finished the run and I died and still nothing popped. And I was like, I swear, if something has gone wrong and it didn't give me the achievements. No, it did. It just didn't pop them on my dashboard. I picked up my phone to see if there was any known bugs at the same time as hitting my guide button and scrolling over. And my phone showed the achievements unlocking.
Right.
And then as I scrolled over on the Xbox, it was like 65 out of 65. I was like, I'm done. I literally quit the game, turned the thing off, walked outside, and then tweeted about 5 times in a bunch of gibberish about how much this means.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. 25 days I have played that game for. It doesn't say a lot because we did a whole year worth of shows where we did a daily a day.
Right. For anyone that hasn't listened to it, The Binding of Moon Pier Boston Rebirth, available now on tvgp.tv.
Mm-hmm. So the numbers are a little bit inflated, I would say, but this is a game that many people have portrayed to be the hardest thing to get.
Yep.
Like, all of the trophies / achievements on. And I've done it. And immediately, as soon as the stuff popped up, I was smiling. I was like, yes, thank you.
Weight of the world off your shoulders.
I have prayed for this moment. It's one of those things. It's like beating a raid boss for the first time, struggling with something. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what? You can insult games all you want. You can turn around and say, yeah, they're a waste of time. Yeah, whatever. And to a certain aspect they are, but I don't watch movies or TV that much. So, whatever. This is my entertainment. But you don't get to watch a movie and then have that feeling of, I've just done something that not many people have done. Like,
I think still on PSN, it's still like 0.004% of people have done this.
I think it's around about the same on the Xbox as well, to be honest.
I'm going to pull it up here while we're talking.
It's a ridiculous thing to do, and I think you described it best. It's the white whale for roguelike fans, is getting that. It's impossibly difficult to describe how much, gaming the system you have to do, and sometimes, like I said, I broke greed mode with a D20, and sometimes you kind of have to do that. And it shows you the amount of knowledge of a game you have to have. It's like playing Final Fantasy and knowing Petrify Squall at the start of the game, and you've broken that game.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's you have to know the game in and out. And it always bothered me a little bit that Mr. Boston over here has done it and I haven't.
On PS4, 1001% is 0.4%. 1,001% is 0.1%. So,
well, it's a shame I can't get that one.
Yeah. I don't have it, so. Not yet.
No, it's the white whale, and it's done, and it's dead, and now I'm gonna roll around in that blubber and have a good time.
Until we start Enter the Gungeon on We Roguelike It, and then you're like, I gotta do all that.
Okay, moving on. Nimp, what have you been playing? That's all I've been playing. Let's
go. So I started Backup Zone of the Enders 2. Really messing around with that. I was kind of looking at some of the maps and stuff, because I just wanted to see how the graphics were holding up, and they actually look pretty nice for still being a PS2 game. They really upped the ante on that one quite a bit. But the story, man, that thing is cheesy as all get out.
The voice acting has not aged well at all.
Is this you still doing the VR version?
Yes, I am, and that's still actually going really well for me. Still haven't gotten sick yet. I did have to fight because they put waypoints throughout the map, like I said last time. And while I was trying to look around, I kind of had to fight those waypoints because it automatically locks onto them, so that way you can just start flying to your next destination without too much of an issue. But yeah, when I was trying to look around, it's like, all right, unlock that, and then just kind of fly around and look, and then all of a sudden you're locked back onto it, so all of a sudden you're flying sideways, trying to get to that waypoint again, and that started to make me a little queasy, just because I was expecting to go in one direction, all of a sudden I'm getting pulled into another one.
Right.
But yeah, with the story, there's a fight that you get into fairly early in the beginning, where it's the old anime trope of, oh, you're not a good person, blah, blah, blah. And then you fight the other person. It's like, oh, well, your skills are really good. You must be a good person at heart and blah. And it's like, no, this guy is not a good person at all.
Is that the Vic Viper fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was.
That's one of the cool like old school Konami references too, where it's like, hey, here's the dude. Oh, he's driving Vic Viper. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. But it was one of those things.
God, that game is cool.
He was. The whole purpose of the fight was you were supposed to give Jehute back, and at the end of the fight, because of him being a good person now, he's like, all right, fine, I guess you can pilot him. It's like, the dude just handed you your butt in a fight. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, like you fight the protagonist of the first Zone, the Enders, and he's still kind of a butt.
Yeah. So, that game's pretty sweet. I love that game.
Yeah.
Next one is I tried Watch Dogs, the first one again, on Xbox One.
It's a good game. That's a good game.
I don't know, man. I am not feeling that game at all.
I bet it hasn't aged well.
Yeah. Well, the bigger problem is that your character isn't meant to take a whole lot of hits, which is fine. I can deal with that. But then the game keeps putting you in situations where you're fighting wave against wave of enemies that all have automatic machine guns, grenade launchers. They're throwing grenades at you. And you can only take like 2-3 hits, yeah. And the controls don't handle it very well. You can do like point-to-point sticking on cover, but if you don't direct it properly, it will just randomly point at something that the camera just happens to be looking at. Next thing you know, you're up against a wall, but you're not in cover because everyone can see you and everyone can shoot you now.
Right.
And
you're like standing behind a light pole and they're like, they'll never see me.
Yeah. And
whoops, I'm dead.
The other mission that I'm having an issue with, so you fight like these 3 waves, you have to delete this hard drive, and then there's like somebody who gets away. Well, they get away in a fire truck. So I
don't remember this.
Yeah. Getting to them is not an issue because there's a bunch of cars there. You can jump into any car you want, but the problem becomes you can't shoot while you're driving.
Right. So, they want you to like blow up the sewers and change the stoplights and all that.
Which would be great, except for the fact that the fire truck always gets on a highway. You've already got a wanted level. All of a sudden there's cops everywhere. You got a helicopter. Everyone's shooting you, not the 2 guys with AKs in a stolen fire truck.
Right.
And so you can't hack anything. You can disable the helicopter for a little bit. And I almost had it where I managed to drive up ahead of them, got out of the car, pulled out my grenade launcher, shot the fire truck, blew it up, and next thing I know, I've got 20 cops in a helicopter shooting at me. I jump off the bridge into the water, and then I get hit by a boat cop. And it's just no getting away. And I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Well, that was a good time to take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I feel like Watch Dogs 2 did way better, is the gunplay feels so much better, and you have so many more tools that aren't just hacking things. Like, you have a drone and you have a little RC car. Like, there's way more tools to get stuff done, where Watch Dogs 1 is very much like, here's a wave of people. You have a smartphone and a pretty bad pistol. Good luck. It's like, wait.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had a lot of fun with it up into this mission, because I handle it mostly as just like a stealth game. So I've got 2 silenced weapons, pick people off, I find the camera, I blow things up, you know. Playing it that way, it's fun, I love it. But then it just keeps throwing you into missions that the character cannot handle and the controls are not built for, and it's like it's breaking itself for this one mission. I hate it.
Don't worry, the very worst part of that game is right at the end. Where you are in a car and you have to avoid the cops in this very small neighborhood to then get out of the neighborhood and then get to a certain place without getting caught at all. And by caught, I mean seen in any capacity.
I remember that.
And if you leave the car at all, there's a little thing that says you've left the mission pops up and you have to get back into the car.
I think if you leave the car, it fails you. I think it fails you right immediately, because you have like 2 or 3 people in the car with you.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever make it to that mission.
It's a bummer, because like Watch Dogs 1 is so good, but like you found, it fights you every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's for me, Watch Dogs 1 is a flawed gem.
Yeah.
It's got its problems, but I genuinely loved most of what I played of that game. I haven't played 2 yet. I know Boston raves about 2.
God, 2 is so good.
Well,
2, I think if you largely enjoyed Watch Dogs 1, I would say play 2, because I think 2 improved on everything.
Okay. Well, yeah, because 2 was on sale, I think, like a month or 2 ago for like $14. And,
that's a steal.
Well, and I passed it up because at the time, I was like, I'm really not enjoying this game. And yeah, maybe they did fix it, but looking it up online, no one really pointed out any major fixes or anything. So I was like, I just have to assume that it's set up the same way that the first one was, and I'm probably not going to enjoy that one either.
Yeah, man, they improve almost everything, because I think they really did take the criticisms of the first one to heart. And it's such a better game. And I think even they get rid of Aiden, thankfully. And the crew that you have in the second one is so much more... Like, everybody, including your main character, has so much more personality. I think that goes a really long way. I think especially after some of the really stupid story decisions they made near the end of the first one.
I think this is one of those times when, like, you hear about games suffering from the effects of the game that came before it.
Yeah.
Like, you hear Call of Duty, even if it's amazing this year, if last year's was bad, this year's will suffer because last year's was bad, less people will buy it.
Right.
I feel like Watch Dogs 2 suffered from the iconic hat effect, where people did not want to buy into it for the second time because of everything that went on with the first one.
Yeah. And it's sort of the opposite of what happened with Assassin's Creed 1 to 2, where Assassin's Creed 1 is not a great game, and it was fine when it came out, but man, Assassin's Creed 2 was better in every way. And for some reason that was okay, and I think with Watch Dogs, like you said, people were just like, oh great, another Watch Dogs game, hooray.
Well, I think with Assassin's Creed 1, you could see what they were really going for.
That's true, yeah.
It kind of made you want to look forward to whatever they did after that, because you knew that they could improve on it. But like you were saying, this Watch Dogs fights you so hard just to play it.
Let me have fun with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I bought this game. This why we play video games. We want to have fun. And maybe, like you said, you guys enjoyed it, so I mean that's great. But
yeah,
I just can't get into this game.
Well, and I think part of the reason why we enjoyed it too is we played it on or near release, and I think so many open world games have done everything Watch Dogs tried to do so much better that playing Watch Dogs now is sort of like, ooh, yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's
showing
not great.
Its age a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there's also the fact that we played it close to release, but it was also close to a generation launch release as well.
Yeah.
When we played it, we were playing open world games that were being built for the newest generation of consoles, so everything was just a little bit pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas nowadays, you take a look at some of the Days Gone, huge open world game. Assassin's Creed, 2 huge open world games that are mind blowing and incredible have come out this generation. Like,
right.
I think it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, probably because it was close to the launch of a new generation, they kind of backstepped a little bit, because that game was promoted for like 4 years before it even came out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'll still keep giving it a try, but I don't know.
I'd say if you're really hitting a brick wall on it too much, pick up Watch Dogs 2, because it sounds like you're enjoying Watch Dogs like as a game, but maybe not the rough edges that the first one has.
Yeah. But anyway, so the next game that I played after that was the Technomancer.
Oh no.
What?
La 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 la. I don't need to hear about this.
So this.
Don't say it's good. Say it's the worst game you've ever played.
Well,
please.
It's not the worst game I've ever played. It's not the best game either. It is definitely a B tier kind of game. The graphics are not great. The voice acting's not great. Controls are not great. But there's something about it that I don't know what, but I like playing it.
So one might say it shares similarities with a certain alpha protocol I'm hearing from you
yeah,
here.
A little bit. So the game starts out where you create a character, but it's not anything in depth. You've only got a couple face swaps that you can do, but you play as something that's called a Technomancer, which is basically someone that can control lightning through their body. You know, so far as the story's been told to me. So you get kind of like this force lightning ability stuff, and you've got 3 different fighting styles that you can choose from. One is where you fight with a bow staff. Another one is where you fight with like a shield or a mace or like a small little dagger sword. And then there's another one where you have a dagger and a gun. But you can also imbue your weapons with lightning effects, which adds stun. So, like I was playing earlier with my bow staff, I'm sitting there hitting a guy, and he can't hit me because every time I hit him, it stuns him for a couple seconds. Oh. So you just keep waylaying into him, and then you run into a group of people, and I just basically did force lightning, got all of them, ran up, and just started beating the crap out of them. The controls aren't great when you're trying to fight groups of enemies. It's, you know, when it's one-on-one, it's fine, but when you're trying to mitigate where everyone's at and moving around, you can dodge around and stuff like that. But you have to fight with the bow because you have these sweeping arcs that you're doing, so you kind of hit everybody at once if they gang up on you at the same time. So it gives you that little bit of breathing room because everyone's stunned for like 2-3 seconds, and then they come right back at you. Yeah, the story's kind of this weird thing that it's corny but kind of fun at the same time.
Yeah, it's set on Mars as well, if I remember correctly.
Yep. And it's giving me a real Mass Effect feel, where I actually just picked up my first 2 party members, and I don't think they're permanent. They kind of feel like red shirts to me. Because I just started a mission. They were like, oh, here, take these 2 people with you. But later on, you do eventually get party members, and you can do missions with them and stuff like that. But yeah,
This is so cheap on PS4 right now.
Yeah,
it's $10.
It's on Game Pass, Boston.
Oh, okay.
Literally just came to Game Pass.
Yeah,
let me fire up my Game Pass app here.
It's really rough, I will tell you that. But I looked into the studio. Spiders is the company that developed it. It's based out of Paris, France, and there's only 20 employees.
Wow.
So looking at this game, comparing it with how many employees they have, I'm like, all right, no, I feel like I can give this a fair shot. It was only 20 people that made it. This wasn't, you know, Ubisoft or anybody where they've got a village working on it and they produced this.
Right. It's a real indie game.
Yeah, it's 20 guys that busted their butts. Yeah, it's not perfect because maybe they didn't know everything. So I can play it in that light and be like, all right, I'm willing to give this a real shot. And I got it for free because it was one of the free games on Xbox a couple months ago. But yeah, and the map. Good God, man, the map kind of sucks. So you get like this layover map that you can look at. You obviously you get your little icons for quests and stuff like that. And when you look up on the mini-map, you've got it sitting there, and it's like, oh, you just run in this direction. But there's so many like dead ends and odds and end turns and all this stuff that you get turned around real quick. And then you just pull up the main map and you're looking. It's like, oh, okay, all I have to do is run straight and turn left and then turn right, and then I'll be where I need to be at. And 20 minutes later, you're looking at the map and you're like, how the hell did I just get here?
Sadly, Technomancer left Game Pass in December.
Oh.
Did it? What? It must have been gold then. I guarantee you have a copy of it, dude. It's been.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it on my phone.
Yeah, but I mean, for $10, I would say it's worth a try. $20, you know, maybe watch a couple videos, see what you think about it. But
right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think I'll keep playing that for a bit. Maybe there'll come a point where all of a sudden I hit a wall and like, now screw this game. But so far, it's fairly interesting. And then the last game, which I have not really had a chance to play, was I did buy Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
I've only played like 10 minutes. So.
Sorry to interrupt really quick. This is your gentle reminder, everybody. Please, share the show with a friend. At least 2, maybe 3. Let's get ourselves 100 patrons, because we need to have Boston stream this game and poop his pants. Thank you very much.
I did retweet the Boston, yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be shortly. There's gonna be 2 tiers of goals on Patreon. 100 patrons will definitely be Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2, whichever Moon wants me to play. 50 patrons, however, I will play to completion whatever game Moonpier wants me to play. So get us to 50.
I'm assuming non-horror based.
Hey man, it's up to you. Whatever you want.
Interesting.
So 50 and 100. 100 is the good one, the real scary stuff. But 50,
yes,
maybe a little scary. Who knows?
But yeah, so 7 is all in first person, whether you play it in VR or not.
Oh god, are you playing in VR?
Yes. With headphones.
That reaction, by the way, is what I want 100 patrons for.
So, I mean, the sounds are great because you get the little earbuds with the VR set, so I popped those in. The sounds are great. I mean, just walking through the mud, or the clay, the mud, whatever they had out there, you know, you hear everything going on, which can be a benefit. Kind of sucks because there's some things you don't want to hear.
Yep.
But I got all the way to the first save room, and that's where I had to stop playing just because my kids kept busting into my room, be like, "What are you doing? What are you playing? We want to watch." Like,
surprise!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god!
My daughter, I had the VR headset, and it was real because nothing happens in the beginning. I'll just tell you flat out. It's just you getting used to everything and moving around and checking things out. And I got into the building, and when you keep walking, the door behind you closes. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, you know, dumb jump scare. And then my daughter grabs my arm to try to shake me.
That's a zombie!
Yeah, the expletives that I threw out at that moment, my wife was like, did she break something? I'm like, no, just...
my sanity.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Just my heart.
Yeah.
So, I only made it to the first save room. Haven't gotten too much farther into it yet, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. There's a reason why there's gonna be was Resident Evil 7 last year? No, Resident Evil 7 was the year before.
I think.
I think it was 17.
Oh yeah,
17. Okay, yeah, that's right. We're in 2019 now.
Because there's a reason that game was right up there on my top 10 list, because it's an incredibly crafted game, and like you said, like the sound design is amazing. It was one of those games where I wish I didn't have the Astro A50 surround sound headphones. Right. I don't need to hear footsteps coming from behind me while I'm trying to solve a puzzle.
But that's the thing.
Thank you very much.
You do need to hear those footsteps. You just really don't want to hear those footsteps. So yeah, that's all I've been playing. So.
I saw you know me. Every week I'm looking at the new top 5 games in the iOS store. This week I saw Lemmings, and it said, "Hey, it's the classic Lemmings experience." You look at the screenshots, and it just looks like the very first Lemmings on PC. I was like, cool. I love Lemmings. I can totally do this. I think Sony owns the Lemming license now because it starts off with a Sony Interactive Entertainment splash screen, which was really weird.
Yep.
They changed Lemmings a little bit, so if anyone hasn't played the first one, it's a puzzle game. They're cute little guys. They're falling to their death. This time, it's a grid-based system, so it's much easier to put a lemming somewhere to like do the blockers or build stairs or stuff like that. So it's a lot easier to, you don't run into as many times where you build a set of stairs and it's like 1 pixel off from where they're going to be able to jump up onto the next ledge, which is greatly appreciated. However, the last thing that Lemmings needed was an energy system.
Oh, 100%, dude, it needed an energy system.
Does it need microtransactions?
God, it probably has them. Every time you put down a lemming, it uses 1 energy.
Oh, wow.
So I uninstalled it. Just flat out, like, I would rather pay $5 for a Lemmings game I can play on my phone. I'm not even going to deal with a Lemmings game with energy.
The big thing for me is at that point, do it 1 energy per attempted level. That's fine.
That's totally fine, yeah. That's because that would give me like 60 attempts, which would be fine. But that's basically 60 placements, and that sucks. Because
heaven forbid you get one wrong.
Right, or like, what am I going to do when I'm halfway through a level and I'm run out of energy? I'm sure it's going to say like, do you want more Lemmings crystals?
Yeah.
You just spend $5 and get 500. So
buy these dodo bugs.
Yeah, so no thank you. Enter the Gungeon. My brother and I have both been playing this a lot. He's playing this on Switch, and I'm playing on PS4. So we've been sharing a lot of tips. Boy, I got a lot done this week. I picked up the Gallarhorn from Destiny.
Wait, hold on.
It's called the Exotic, which is really good. And when you have it pulled out, there's a little ghost that floats next to you. That's a really great reference, and it does shoot Gallarhorn shots, so it shoots the shot and then the Wolfpack rounds. So it is, and of course it's stupid powerful, so it checks all the check boxes. I beat Turbo mode. There's a dog that is a very clear Sonic the Hedgehog reference, who runs Turbo mode. I didn't expect that to be as stupid fast as it was.
Is it speed fast or?
Yes, it doubles the speed of the game. It is. That was tough. That was much tougher than I thought it was going to be. You only have to go to the end. You just have to beat the dragon. You don't have to go to the next floor. You don't have to beat the past or anything. So that's a little bit better, but that was much harder than I thought. The item you get for beating that, though, is really pretty powerful, so that is well worth it. Basically, it's a passive item that when you reload a gun where you have emptied the clip, it puts an impenetrable barrier around you for like 1.5 seconds. That's really strong. So that was fun. It felt a lot better turning turbo mode off, though. How I beat that. I wrote this down. I totally forgot. So there's an item in the game called duct tape. Basically, what it does is it allows you to fuse 2 guns together. I duct taped a very high ammo weapon. So something, I think it was the Patriot, the Metal Gear Solid 3 gun, that has like 1,500 bullets in it, with the Yari launcher, which is an incredibly powerful rocket launcher. So it basically gave me the rocket launcher, but with 1,500 shots in it. So I blew through the rest of that game, no problem. That felt really good.
Yeah. I've got to ask, do you think that's an Aliens reference?
Probably. I would have to look at the description.
I know duct tape does, it's reference for sticking anything of 2 things together.
Right.
But when it's 2 guns specifically, I can't help but think of Aliens.
let's look at what the description is. Friend of gunsmiths. So, maybe not. Who knows? I beat the robots past. So since I didn't play the previous expansions, I didn't beat the bullet or the robots past. Went through and beat the robots past. Did not realize that is just a full-on Terminator reference. It's really great. That was much easier than I thought it was going to be. So I unlocked that. I don't even remember what weapons I unlocked from that, but I unlocked his other outfit, which is just a skeleton, which is great. I am having a hell of a lot of trouble beating the bullets past because it sucks. It is essentially the last two fights from Link to the Past.
Wait there. Well, last two fights from Link to the Past.
You remember that magician where you reflect the bullet, like the shots back at them, and you're like playing baseball for a little bit?
Yeah, okay.
That's the first fight. You literally do the same thing, and it looks very close to that boss. And then you fight Ganon, who is called Cannon in this game, and it pretty much looks like Ganon that's carrying two guns.
Okay.
Like it's really close to being litigious. But you only have a sword, and you don't do a lot of damage, and he has a lot of health. I've tried it a couple of times, and maybe get rid of about half of his health bar before he kills me. So that's not super fun.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm not looking. That's my last past I have to beat. So like that's my white whale at the moment. And unfortunately, I have to play the whole thing to get up until that point with the Bullet, who is cute as a button, but not a character I like playing at all. It very much feels like playing as Lilith, where it's like I don't want to play as this character. I don't like doing it. It's a little weird, but I finally beat the double run that I've been trying to do to unlock the last secret character.
Is this the go in and basically beat the top and then beat the bottom thing as well?
Yeah, it was really interesting because you blow through a whole run as the Paradox, and then once you beat that, it restarts your run as the last secret character, who I won't spoil, who you have to go through the entire run again, and then when you go to their past, it sends you down to the final level. Final level is called Bullet Hell, by the way.
Yeah. Puns are plenty. That's good. And
then you have to beat a total horse crap final boss. Like, it is ridiculously, stupidly crazy hard. I went in there with, I think it was 4 pieces of ammo and 7 hearts, and I left with half of a heart. And I had a crazy overpowered run. So now I finally have that final secret character unlocked, who is really strong because he has a passive item he starts with that basically modifies every gun you pick up. So you're basically getting a synergy with every gun you pick up, even if you don't have the other item it synergizes with. So
that seems OP.
It's really strong, but it's one of those great rewards where it's like, look, I've done everything up until this point that was all crazy hard. You're going to give me somebody that's really overpowered. That feels really good. Like, that feels like a really good reward. So I do still have to beat the rat boss, which I'm really not looking forward to doing, because as much as I love a good Metal Gear Solid 1 reference, I forgot that there was a phase of that fight where you literally just fight Metal Gear Rex before the radar dish got blown off. That fight is really hard. So not looking forward to doing that. But man, Enter the Gungeon is really great. That is... I'm happy I have the platinum. I have a couple more trophies to go, but I think that's going to be one of those games like Isaac and like Risk of Rain that's always just going to live on my console, and like once every couple of months I'd be like, maybe I'll spend this weekend playing a little bit of Gungeon and just play random characters and have a little bit of fun. So,
yeah, I have 2 of those installed on my Xbox right now. Binding of Isaac, What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yes, Edith Finch is this month's Game with Gold game, right? Or is it PS Plus?
I don't know.
One of the two.
PS Plus.
Yeah.
Because somebody was complaining about how they got Edith Finch for PS Plus. It's like,
I'm sorry, you can't spend 3 hours playing one of the best video games of the last 10 years. Sorry. Go play Edith Finch. It's stupid good. And it's literally like 3 hours long. It's really not that long.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that fish level. God, I want to play Edith Finch again.
That's why it's still installed on my Xbox.
Yeah.
For when that edge takes me.
Yeah, I don't think I got all the trophies in that either.
I did. And it's still there.
Speaking of free games, Wargroove went on Game Pass.
Yep.
A game I have wanted to play for a while and admittedly sort of forgot about, but it's on Game Pass right now. So let's. I played a lot of Wargroove.
Did they patch the difficulty?
Yes. It feels. I think I'm on Act 3 now. I've played a lot of Wargroove this past week because I think Wargroove is that exact game I need right now that I didn't know I needed.
Advance Wars?
Yeah, and I never really got into Advance Wars when it came out. I feel like that's one of those franchises I know I'd love that I just missed for some reason.
Might have been related to what was going on at the time, because I believe when the first Advance Wars came out, I was in college or high school, so I played a lot of link cable games of Advance Wars.
Yeah, and I don't think I had there wasn't a link cable community for me that was going on. But yeah, Wargroove is just Advance Wars. But it's fantasy and it has incredible pixel art. My God, is it great? It has a pretty surprisingly interesting story. I sort of don't expect much of a story out of these things. But it's really great, and I think part of what I'm enjoying right now is for a lot of these missions that I'm getting into now, I'll probably lose the first time I go through, and then I'll take all those lessons and then I'll beat it the second time, sometimes by the skin of my teeth, but I usually have a better idea of, okay, I need to generate more of these units throughout the battle instead of these ones that I'm trying to do. I gotta fight more ranged units instead of ground ones, so I need to do more of this stuff. I feel like not being able to beat a mission the first time might turn some people off, and I feel like that might be why people weren't crazy about it to begin with. But I know people were saying that there was definitely a difficulty spike, and it seems like that's mostly gone now, and I believe there's difficulty options you can choose for your missions, but I haven't really messed around with that yet. If I would lose like 2 or 3 times, I'd probably check into that, but yeah, it's free on Game Pass. It is really great, and I think part of what I'm liking about it is I've been playing a lot of games as a service games where you can't pause and you can't not focus for a little bit, so having a truly turn-based game feels really great.
Yeah.
But I can see myself getting into trouble because you get rated on each mission, and the main menu of the game, so it'll give you stars. It has 3 stars is the max. The main menu of the game has like X out of 200 stars up in the upper right hand corner. It's like, you didn't need to do that to me.
They give you a bar to fill.
Yeah, like I know there's a trophy, an achievement associated with it. I didn't need to have it on the screen too. Like that just seems like injecting it right in my veins. It seems unfair.
Yep.
I did play some Division 2, knocking out some main missions and side missions and trying to clean up the map a little bit. Nimp, you're not playing this, right?
Nope. Have no interest.
Do control points keep getting recaptured?
Yes.
I don't know if I have time for that.
So The more well supplied the control points are, the longer they can maintain themselves without being captured. If a control point is fully stocked up, so when you capture it, donate as much as you can to that control point.
Okay.
Because that is when they start having to send people from the control point out for supplies, that's when they start being vulnerable to things like getting attacked, because these people are out gathering water, and these people are out gathering screws.
That makes a lot of sense.
These people are out doing funky dances on top of cars.
Right. I really wish this game was my Destiny 2, because I feel like if this was my primary loot shooter or games as a service game, that would be cool. Like, I would like all this micromanagement and like trying to daily or weekly trying to keep my map clean. But man, coming back to the game maybe once a week and seeing my entire map being red again does not feel great.
Yeah.
It's not bad, because the game is good, but I sort of wish there was... I wish there was maybe a better way of managing, or like even if it all got reset every time I upgrade the world tier, that would feel fine. But because I'm ready to go to world tier 2 after I beat a stronghold, but I don't know. That's a little frustrating.
Yeah, a little bit.
How often does it happen?
I would assume on weekly reset, probably.
Yeah, I think I've cleaned out control points and seen them all get lost again within 2 days because I don't bother donating anything to them.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's a little frustrating with the amount of time I have to play it, but I'm balancing that on how much I love playing it, especially like the giant campaign. If I don't interact with that much stuff post-game, I feel like I'm still really happy with the Division 2.
The flip side of it as well is every time you take one, you get access to the loot room.
Yes.
And that's really good for trying to gear up for the next tier of world. Is every time you go in and clear one out, big huge stash of loot.
Get two yellow weapons. Yeah, that was one thing I actually wrote here in my notes for this week is I got a new assault rifle because I run a rifle and an assault rifle.
LMG, SMG all the way.
Yeah, you're like 2 bullet hoses at 2 distances. So the one I got was a fairly minor damage upgrade, but I was able to mod it to the point where I have the stability almost all the way maxed out. So this thing is just a laser. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I love the Division 2 so much is those upgrades feel really meaningful. It's not like, well, you got a new backpack and it gives you a little bit more armor, hooray. It's like, no, now my skills cool down 10% faster and my skill power is way higher, so I can equip this other stuff. And it has this cool ability where if I have 5 or higher of the blue, stat, I can do this other thing. And it's like, it feels really powerful where I feel like in some other games, and Destiny 2 is guilty of this, where like you got a brand new piece of armor. That's it. It looks different. Division 2, each one of those items feels very impactful.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with me and my LMG life is stability is an LMG person's dreams.
Right.
Because it's one of those things where I don't want to wrestle the. I mean, it's realistic because I'm firing 100 round LMG
right
consistently from pulling the trigger till the thing getting empty. It's going to make sense that the thing's going to jump around a little bit. So, like, getting one and modding it so that it has that stability where it can tighten up and just be, like, nice and easy to control rather than trying to lasso a wild pig, like, towards the enemies. It's the hugest difference in the world.
Yeah. And that's... I feel like maybe I wasn't in the right mood this week to play Division 2, because I fired up and I was like, all right, I'm going to do some side missions, I'm going to do some main missions, this is going to be great. And I saw most of my control points got recaptured, and I was sort of like, swear words. Like, that just sort of took the wind out of my sails, but I don't know, Division 2 is still really good. I was looking at my top 10 for this year because I wanted to make sure I added any of the games I've played in the last couple months. And I saw Division 2 on there, and I was sort of like, yeah, you're going near the top, buddy. This 2019 is your year, Division.
Come on, scooch it up.
Just keep goosing it up the list. But yeah, Division 2. I think for me, even if I will still play Division 2 this year, but even if I just weighted Division 2 on the campaign, Division 2 is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And last but not least, I rechecked out the Swords of Ditto. They just put out this big patch called Mormo's Curse, and they completely remade the game.
I don't know if I'm a fan of this, but that's fine because you can always do hero mode.
Yeah, so basically the old Swords of Ditto that we talked about on We Rogue Like It, available now, tvgp.tv, is still there in hero mode, so it has permadeath, it has all that stuff. The new version doesn't have permadeath anymore. I'm surprised to hear the developers say that they got a ton of pushback on that. I really didn't think it was that strict. Like, it wasn't really that punishing. But
no, but you also didn't die 1,000 times, those stupid knights with a giant stupid sword.
I mean, I did eventually by the time we were done talking about it. That wasn't that much fun. But now when you die, you lose a little bit of money and you lose a little bit of the space wheel crystals. And that's kind of it. Apparently, you can still permanently die if you're in hero mode or if you're going up Mormo's tower, which they both make sense. So that's cool, and they added a lot. They added some more biomes, and they added some more NPCs in the world, and they said they tried to take the map and make it a little bit more dense, so there aren't so many dead zones or dead areas and zones. I think that's pretty cool. It's great that it's a free update, so if you have Swords of Ditto, you can just download it and it'll work. But I was sort of surprised about that. I was sort of surprised everyone's saying, like, all right, Swords of Ditto got fixed. I was like, that was a pretty great game to begin with, so...
yeah, fixed feels a little harsh.
Yeah, but I mean, the developers were pretty honest by saying, like, hey, we really weren't happy with the original game, so we just sort of redid all of it. So that's pretty surprising. So I guess if you didn't like Swords of Ditto before, if you thought the permadeath was a little too punishing, go re-download it, start a brand new game, and you should be good.
Yep.
Yeah. Level up those badges. Yeah. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of May 5th, 2019. Yakuza Kiwami 2 comes out on PC. I've heard that the other Zero and the first Kiwami both got really good ports on PC, so I'm sort of expecting this to follow suit. So if you
cross our fingers and hope.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to try Zero and you don't have a PS4, well, it runs really well on PC. It's usually on sale a lot, too. Saints Row the Third comes out on the Switch.
Why not?
Yeah, like I feel like if Saints Row 4 didn't get that huge expansion, I feel like this almost would have been like a 3 and 4 combo pack.
Yeah,
but the 3 was pretty good.
I still think 3 is the best, and to be honest, 3 needs to be the same amount of places that Skyrim is, as far as I'm concerned.
That's fair, yeah.
So if you could put Saints Row the Third on Alexa, that would be really, really good.
Put it on your refrigerator.
Yeah, exactly. Shakedown Hawaii is coming out for Switch, PS4, PC, and Vita. The 3DS release got pushed back a couple of weeks, but that will still be coming out. This is the new game by the team that made Retro City Rampage.
Yep. I've seen some GIFs of this in motion, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I never played Retro City Rampage. It's one of those games I always meant to, like, I'll pick it up in a couple of months, and then never really did. But it's a cool top-down 16-bit open world game. It's Retro City Rampage was very much an homage to GTA 1 and 2. And it looks like
with a whole bunch of pop culture references thrown in.
Yeah, and it looks like this is sort of the extension to that. And lastly, Puyo Puyo Champions is coming out for Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You've probably seen this as Puyo Puyo Esports in Japan. It is a competitive Puyo Puyo game that is Sega trying to bring this as a competitive game into more markets. I'm not 100% sure on what the price is going to be here, but it has been listed at $10, which is really cheap.
Can we get Puyo Puyo 99, please?
That's right. That'll be in the next one. But Puyo Puyo Tetris is also really good, if anyone wants to check that out too. All right, let's move on to news stories. Platinum Games has announced that they are going to be self-publishing, mostly so they can make sequels. The studio head was interviewed about this and said that there's a high level of frustration within the company because they can't take games like The Wonderful 101 or Vanquish and make sequels to those because they don't own the IP.
Nintendo and Sega, respectively, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Because The Wonderful 101 only came out on Wii U, so yeah, I bet Nintendo owns that one. And they cited Bayonetta 2 as like them starting the frustration where it's like, look, we need to make another Bayonetta. How can we get the rights to this moved between the various companies that need to make it happen? And they said that they're pretty nervous about it because it's a risky thing for them to do, but they're currently have 2 games in development, both of which they own completely. So,
but sometimes risks pay off. I mean, look at I forgot the name.
What'd they make?
Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate,
In Exile? Obsidian.
Thank you. Look at them. Like, they were going to go out of business, and then they thought, let's try Kickstarter.
Right.
And look at where it's left them.
Right. Well, and I feel like if there's any company that can probably carry themselves on their legacy, it's probably Platinum Games, because they've made a lot of really great games, and I think they can probably take... If they can do really well, I think they can stop making the games that have not done well for them, like some Transformers games and some of the other licensed stuff that they're very much winking and nodding, saying like, we need these to stay afloat, so they're not great, but buy them maybe. So very curious. I'd love to see another Vanquish. Love to see what they would do, but obviously that's not going to happen. But
so are they just going to release another game and call it Defeat, and it's all about like kind of similar people in a kind of similar place?
Yeah, it's a game called Scalebound, but they're really just weighing dragons. It's not really fighting them anymore.
Yeah.
Next news story: the Video Game Hall of Fame has inducted a new set of games. 4 games this time. They're all pretty interesting. The first one is Microsoft Solitaire, released in...
That's a no-brainer. That should have been in the first roll, to be honest. So, a couple of interesting stats for a lot of these games that came out. Solitaire is now on over 1 billion computers been distributed on, which makes sense. It sees 35 billion games a year. That's insane.
It's a lot of board office workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point because the Strong Museum, who runs the Game Hall of Fame, correctly attributes it to helping pave the way for the growth of the casual gaming market. I think that's a really cool and interesting take on the influence of Solitaire.
Is there any news on when this stuff's going to actually... Is it already been put in the Hall of Fame?
I believe so. I think when they put this press release out, like that's when they put it in there.
Okay, I need to go to the museum really quick because it's like 20 minutes down the road from me.
Nice.
So See you guys later.
All right, bring your recorder. The thing that I think is really interesting about Solitaire that they didn't really touch on is that it helped teach people and still helps teach people how to use a mouse. Because when Windows came out, unless you were using a Mac, you weren't really familiar with how to use a mouse. Left click, right click, like that was pretty alien. I think one of Solitaire's biggest things is teaching a lot of us that are our age how to use a mouse, and then it's still used as a teaching tool for people that are now getting into computers. I think that's cool.
Speak for yourself, old timer.
Yes, I'm very old. Not yet 40,
yes,
but I'm getting there. Next game was 1992's Mortal Kombat. The two points here were revolutionary visuals, which is true, along with a unique fighting system, which was very different for the time, and led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board.
Yep.
So, Mortal Kombat is the reason why we have ratings on games.
Open brackets caused a lot of controversy. Close brackets.
Yeah, I think that's something that I think is really interesting looking back on a game like Mortal Kombat, because you look at it nowadays and you're sort of like, okay, that's a lot of computer people are punching each other. But man, when it came out and like you saw that spine ripping fatality, you're just like, this is real life. That really happened. This is incredible.
Yeah, but they've gone, from what I understand, they've gone above and beyond for the new game, and they've gone a little bit more extreme.
God, some of that's part of the reason why I don't want to buy MK11, because watching some of that stuff is me being an old man again. It's like watching some of that stuff is sort of like, oh God, you just went all the way. Okay.
Back in my day, they had 9 rib cages.
Exactly. Yeah, like we were punching rib cages out of people. We weren't doing mean stuff. we were chomping somebody's top half off as a dragon. We had class in my day.
Yeah, a curb stomp was just a courtesy back then.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We were doing babalities if we felt really badly. Next game is 1992's Super Mario Kart, popularized the kart racing genre, and I didn't realize it is the longest running racing franchise in gaming. Which
what kart racing genre did it popularize besides Mario Kart?
No, it popularized the kart racing genre, because before then there was probably maybe 1 or 2 kart racing games, but man, when Super Mario Kart came out, like that was wildfire.
One or two kart, yeah. I mean, let's look at how many have come out since then, though.
Oh yeah,
there was an episode 1 kart racing game based on the Star Wars pod races.
That was not a great game.
No. It wasn't.
Yeah, so
Crash got one of the best kart racing games.
CTR is so good. I cannot wait for that remake. God, it looks so good. And lastly, 1976's Colossal Cave Adventure. Not a game I'd heard about until this time. It is the first text adventure game and the first known work of interactive fiction. Which is interesting. It paved the way for titles like Zork. So this was even before Zork came out. So I like that they're taking like 3 popular games and then one game that's really important that you probably haven't heard of. And it wasn't even like adventure. It's like everyone knows adventure, but it was cool to see a game like this that is really important, and it's the first piece of interactive fiction from way back in '76.
Question: does E.T. go in the Hall of Fame at some point?
Is it? It might already be.
Because in my opinion, it kind of has to. It has to be in the Hall of Fame.
Celebrate your failures with your successes.
Yeah, very much. Like it is an important game. What do we have here? Looking at their list of inductees, it is worldvideogamehall-of-fame.org/games. Colossal Cave Adventure was released on a cassette tape. If you want to know exactly how old that game is.
Hey, my first video games were on cassette tapes. You don't get to insult cassette tape.
No, cassette tapes were great. Commodore 64 had them. No, it does not appear E.T. is in there quite yet. So
should it go in? Yes, no.
I think Nim's right. I think you celebrate the good with the bad. I don't think anyone thinks it's a good game, but it led to the gaming crash.
Mm-hmm. And the birth of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, the rebirth of Nintendo.
Right. Yeah, I think you do for cultural impact, not for quality of the game. Because I don't know if like Colossal Cave Adventure is a good game or not, but it's certainly impactful. Next news story: Valve officially unveils the Index VR headset. This is the thing we talked about a couple weeks ago, where we're coming out with a brand new headset, pushing the other people to decide ships on June 20th. The full set includes a headset, 2 tracking base stations, and a pair of finger tracking controllers. Is this thing where
tell me the price.
It's sort of, I'm working up to it. It has like an analog stick and a touchpad and 2 buttons on each one, but it also apparently is supposed to track like individual finger joints, which is pretty interesting. That will run you $1,000.
Yep.
So,
was this the thing that had the gauntlet with it, or was that something else?
I think that's this. Yeah.
Okay.
If you've seen any, they've actually been putting out. I can't remember who it is, but one of the devs that I follow on Twitter has been putting out a bunch of Source finger joint tracking stuff, like dev clips. It looks amazing.
It does.
The things that they can do with animation and stuff like that. I think they took a gun from Apex and like animated like reloading it like with finger joint tracking, and it was so beautifully done.
Yeah.
But my word, let's talk about a price tag that you shouldn't be charging.
Well, I think it's really interesting because I think we're seeing VR take 2 paths at this point. We're seeing Oculus Quest, which I think it's called, which is the self-contained one that you just put on your head and you play VR games, and that's it. You don't have to have this giant long cable to your PC and have a super overpowered PC. And then on the other end, you have moving more towards like the full Oculus experience and the Vive and the Index at the very, very end of that arm. I think it's interesting that VR seems to be doing well enough that you have multiple sets for how deep down that rabbit hole you want to go. Like, you just want to play a couple of VR games. Cool, you get Oculus Quest. You've got a $3,000 computer and you don't mind a $1,000 headset because you want to play it in whatever 8K and straight on your eyeballs. Well, Index VR is there for you.
These 2 paths feel like they're heading towards Ready Player One on one side of it,
right,
and the holodeck on the other side of it.
Right.
Yes, I don't know why you're complaining.
Right, exactly.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm looking forward to it when it becomes affordable.
Maybe not the Ready Player one, but the holodeck, yeah.
I mean, you're already dedicating a room for VR for most of these.
That's true.
So
you have your own holodeck.
Just get that holodeck, yeah.
Yeah, just start painting the lines on the wall. It'll be great.
Yep.
Next news story: Psyonix is, I think, how you pronounce it, gets purchased by Epic. Sorry, wrong news story.
Almost the wrong person.
The opposite end of this new war. Epic acquires Psyonix, the Rocket League studio, which I think I'm really surprised about this, because I'm surprised that they wanted to be purchased, because it seems like they're doing really, really well.
Yes, but also, if someone walked up to you right now, Boston, with a check for $1 million,
I'll do anything.
We'll take TVGP and the E1M1 network off your hands.
Yep.
Here is a $1 million check.
So, what island can that buy me?
Now, how about if they added 2 more zeros onto the end of that check?
I'll take it. I will buy TVGP2.tv and just start a new show. Yeah, I mean, I think this feels a lot like we were talking earlier about Obsidian getting purchased by Microsoft. It feels like a safety net, where if the next thing that this company does maybe doesn't do super well, they have that support and they have that cushion that Epic can maybe provide them. interesting thing here is the sky fell for a lot of people initially, where there was like, oh, great, now it's going to get pulled off of Steam like everything else in the Epic Games Store and blah, blah, blah. Interesting thing is that Epic clarified saying, like, we're going to keep selling it on Steam. We're not pulling it off of Steam for the foreseeable future. And if we do, we're still going to support it everywhere. It's not like the Steam version isn't getting the patches or anything like that. So I know that won't make some crazy people feel any better, but it's nice to hear them say, look, we're not pulling it off the store right now. You don't have to download this other one. Obviously, it's doing really well on Steam. But it was nice to see them come out and say, we're not going to be dumb about it. Not now, at least.
And to be honest, good job, Psyonix. You probably just made yourselves a boatload of money.
Yep. They pulled up a literal boat and just honk, honk. Here's a bunch of money.
Honk, honk. Come on, dude. You can do a better boat horn than honk, honk.
Boat horn. Boat horn. There you go.
There we go.
Watch my little wave file go.
Right. And last but not least, there was we were originally going to talk about the Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal stream, because I thought it would be more impactful, but a lot of the stuff they showed was just quality of life. Like, here's Borderlands, and we've fixed a lot of the quality of life stuff, like level scaling works correctly now, along with loot scaling. And when you open an ammo crate, you just pull all the ammo in. You don't have to do anything. That was kind of the majority of it. Plus, hey, it's still Borderlands. But they did announce EchoCast, which I didn't realize is made by, was worked on by one of my favorite Destiny 2 API guys who runs braytech.org, which is an incredible website. Basically, I brushed this off originally because it was sold as Twitch viewers can interact with streamers in Borderlands 3, and I was going to be like, oh great, so you can spawn like some giant enemy and mess with the streamer. It's actually not like that. One of the bigger things that is really interesting that I think is cool that I wish more games did is you can inspect the streamer's loadout without having to bug them and say, like, what gun are you using? So you just click the EchoCast button and you can see their full loadout.
It's like the WoW Armory site from back in the day.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that dude was amazing on the raid. I'm not going to message him. I'm just going to Google his name in this WoW Armory site.
I'm going to WoW Armory stalk him. But it's cool because it's live. So if they equip a brand new gun, it's going to show up right in the Twitch stream and you can look at their full loadout. The other thing they announced is something called a rare chest event. If the streamer opens up a chest that has a rare or better weapon in it, you can click a button to then get your own rare weapon drop that will then send you a shift code that will be redeemable on your account and scales to whatever level you're at. So if they get a rare drop at level 5 and you're level 50, you're going to get a level 50 gun if you get a rare drop as well. So that's all pretty cool. And a bunch of people were streaming Borderlands 3 after the reveal thing, and that loot event was already live, and people already have shift codes that are going to work as soon as Borderlands 3 comes out. So
I mean, that's a very cool idea.
Yeah.
It's more gamifying, but cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit extra as you're watching your favorite, because I know a lot of the people that I watch that do Destiny streams are 100% going to be playing Borderlands 3, and even if I don't pick up Borderlands 3 when it comes out, I could potentially be scooping up some cool loot that I might get in the Sanctuary 3 spaceship that is now your hub for whenever I pick it up. So that's cool. One thing about that event also.
Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Someone needs to stop Randy Pitchford from appearing on these things. I think we have seen him have a hissy fit about microtransactions this week, and we've seen him continue to behave pretty poorly. I think we're at the point where his outbursts are sort of hurting the developers who have worked really hard on Borderlands 3. You gotta pull him off stage, guys.
We discussed this pre-show. My response with you was his outburst was doing that like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
you brought up Aliens, Cloning Marines that I always forget about. You gotta pull him off stage. Like, get the director of the game and the lead producer and like the lead art person, shove them on stage, have them talk about Borderlands. Because I feel like he's drawing attention away from these games.
Yeah. If you're that desperate for somebody with a name to do it, get the lady who did the Ubisoft press conference to come and do it. Come on.
Yeah.
She's quick, she's got the jokes, and she likes video games. Get her to come and do it.
Well, I actually
remember her name.
I actually like the other guy they've had on stage with Randy Pitchford. I think he's one of the lead developers on Borderlands. He's really great, and he's working on the game itself. Make him the lead guy. Like, I don't want to belabor the point. Just, I think some messaging needs to get changed around Gearbox as a whole, because I think there's too much focus on stuff that isn't Borderlands and not enough focus on, hey, here's all the cool stuff and the hard people that are working on the next Borderlands game. Here's why you should be really excited. Because a lot of the gameplay stuff they showed was really cool. They showed that neon planet that you'll get to go to. That looks really cool, and that doesn't look like Borderlands, which Borderlands 3 desperately needs. Because it starts on Pandora. Oh my god, please. Like, so show me other stuff other than Borderlands. And they did a little bit of that, but then focus got pulled off, unfortunately. So, that's all our news story. Let's move over to questions. Jimbo Jangles sends us a question here. Hey, TVGP, Jimbo Jangles here. Hello. My question this week, what was/is your favorite couch co-op game? Do you have special memories that coincide with that game? For me, it was playing Turtles in Time with my neighbor on the Super NES growing up. That game, along with a good buddy, made any bad day a good one. Have a great show. Probably me and my best friend growing up, Toe Jam and Earl, the very first one, because there were no passwords, there were no saves, no nothing. Like, you had to beat that game in one sitting.
Yeah.
And struggling with that run after run felt really great.
The boot in chat throws up GoldenEye, which is a prime example.
That's a great,
So I used to play, I can't remember any of the names now, but the Forgotten Realm games that came out on the PS2, which were basically like what's now known as the Diablo style.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Baldur's Gate and Dark Alliance?
Yeah,
Dark Alliance, yeah. Those are great games.
My buddy and I would play all the time, and there was also a Phantasy Star Online for the GameCube.
Oh god, Phantasy Star Online was so good.
Yeah, we wasted so much time with that game.
Yeah, I played a lot of the first Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast.
Shadow of the Ninja NES, played that with my sister a lot. Halo 1 and 2, played with my dad.
Right.
Couch co-op, which back in the day when TVs were square and split screen was hard.
Right.
Super Mario Brothers, player 1, player 2.
Yeah.
My sister and I used to do that all the time.
I think
I played...
Oh, God.
I played the new Super Mario Brothers with me, my sister, and my dad.
Oh, wow.
And, like, the Wii versions, and that was a ever-loving nightmare of hellscapes, let me tell you.
Well, that one's got all 4 of you playing at once, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I
think some more recent ones, Castle Crashers, that was a blast couch co-op. Well, I guess it's not couch co-op. Crackdown 1 and 2. But I don't think you could play that couch co-op.
I don't think so. A Way Out, I played that couch co-op with my wife.
Yeah.
A fun game.
Borderlands 3 is going to have couch co-op support, which is great.
I play bed co-op with my wife with Diablo 3 because I moved my PS4 into our bedroom, so we just kind of lay down and play that.
Yeah, my wife and I tried playing couch co-op for that with that for a little bit, and that worked really well.
Mm-hmm. The problem is she really hates spiders and a lot of the sounds that
all of
makes.
Act 2 is Spider Town.
Yeah, she hates spiders, so when we got to that part, it was basically me playing it and dragging her character along with me while she was in the other room.
Tell me when the spiders are dead.
Exactly. So yeah, now we just play it with all the sound off. We just kind of listen to music and podcasts and stuff while we're playing it.
Yeah.
We haven't done that in a while, though. We should get back into that.
I wish... God, what was that game I loved on 360? Oh...
Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
No,
X-Men
God, that's a
Legends?
good one, too. No, it was an
My son and I are
RPG...
playing that right now.
Ooh, nice. It was an RPG... It was Western developed. God, it works on backwards compatibility now. I don't remember. But
Come on, describe it. Let's go.
that's about as far as I can go with that one because it wasn't super original. But basically, if you were playing it in multiple people and you got to a story decision, you could vote on which decision you wanted to make of like the 4 options. And I was just thinking, I sort of wish that there was an option like that for Don't Nod's adventure games.
Yeah, like well, I know the Telltale stuff had this streaming voting thing going on.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. God, I'm gonna have to look at.
I know the Old Republic did that similar thing where everybody votes on what they want it to be.
Yeah.
Western developed RPG. Was it the stupid Nordic thing?
No, I'm trying to look. I'll come up with it while we're talking, but it wasn't a game that was super well received, which meant I really loved it and played it way too much.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's talk about our next question here. Maximus Prime in Discord says, so The Division 2 is already one of my favorite games this generation. I went back and played The Division 1 about a week ago because I kept hearing how similar the first and second are. As I played, I agreed. After numerous updates, Division 1 is a lot like Division 2, except one huge thing, the environment. I've thought about it a lot, and the reason I didn't stick with Division 1 was the snowy weather. Can't stand cold weather, and it felt really samey to me. Division 2 has such a diverse environment because of the weather. My question for you guys is, have you ever been so turned off by a game's environment that you didn't want to play it, even if everything else the game did was great?
Yeah, that happens on a frequent basis to me. Honestly, it depends on the mood I'm in. Like, as someone who has mental health issues, I don't want to play a game that's not even just the actual artistic environment, but the game design environment itself. Like, if something's... I am terrified of playing the Senua's Sacrifice game.
Right.
I am terrified of that. As someone who has mental health issues, I don't want to be driven further down that rabbit hole because of that game.
You don't want to lean into that even more.
I want to play it, but I don't at the same time.
Right.
Edith Finch has an amazing couple of sequences that deal with mental health, and that affected me in a very serious way.
Right.
Still go play Edith Finch, everybody.
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's
really
the
good.
message of today. Go play her.
I was gonna say, I have that issue now where, to me, it feels like a lot of the games that are coming out and have been coming out for a little bit are these dark, depressing games where you're in a world, it's either the apocalypse, after the apocalypse, everything's gone to hell, nothing's great, there's no good people.
The freakers are attacking.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, I want something light, and so that's kind of turned me off on a lot of games where I don't really have anything that I'm looking forward to because that's all that's really coming out right now.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about that about Days Gone for a couple of years, where you look at it and you're sort of like, okay, like this sort of looks like a mashup of a couple of different games I'm sort of sick of playing. So, you got to do something really clever to really get my attention. The game I was thinking about on 360 is Dungeon Siege 3.
Oh, my kids play that.
Yeah, that's a great game. Yeah. Dungeon Siege 3. Backwards compatibility on your Xbox One right now. I can't really think. I feel like, Nip, I'm sort of with you, where it's sort of like, I'm that's why I'm enjoying Wargroove a lot, because it's very much a blue sky game.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like that right now, where I was looking through my Xbox download list, and it's like, you can get all the Gears of War games. I was like, ugh. I'm good. I love playing those games, but I'm good.
Yeah, it's like, that's fine if everybody likes doom and gloomy. I like them too, but it's like right now, it just seems that's all that's out there right now. It's like, I just need something lighthearted. I need a game that's going to pat me on the back and say, it's okay, buddy. It'll be fine.
But that's because art reflects the world, and we are living in a dystopian nightmare right now.
And that's the problem.
Not just us, but everybody.
Need to be reminded how much the world sucks, because I leave the house occasionally, and I have to deal
on
with
Twitter.
People. Yeah.
No, I think we're all in agreement. We want a Blue Sky game. Give me Viva Pinata 3.
Yeah,
please.
God, please.
Well, that's the thing.
Game Pass.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like a hardcore kiddie Blue Sky game, but just something where...
Whoa. Hold on.
I'm not saying Viva Pinata is. No, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like that, but just... I don't know, like, let me see a blue sky in the game. It doesn't need to be just brown, oranges, and black.
Let the good guys win instead of just living to see another freaker attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I'm sure in 2 years when we jump back on Blue Sky games, we'll be like, where are all the depressing games? I want to feel depressed.
Right. Where's my Gear 6? Come on, guys.
Don't worry, Last of Us will be coming out around about then, Last of Us 2, and so will Kojima's game, whatever that thing is.
Now launching as soon as the PS5 comes out. T-Bomb Rocks on Discord asks us a couple questions here. After watching the release date trailer of Bloodstained Ritual of Night, it seems like the delays were worth it with all the graphical changes they made. The now famous trailer that said poop versus new. June 18th can't come fast enough. What are some games you can recall that were delayed multiple times, but the end result was worth the wait?
Well, I can speak for Boston on this one. Destiny 1, Destiny 2, Destiny 3, Destiny 4, Destiny 5.
All of them. I love them. I'm trying to think. I feel like for the last maybe 2 years, we've sort of seen the opposite, where it's like, it's coming out, and it will be getting a 40 gig day one patch, and here's our roadmap, and please stick with it. Maybe God of War got delayed once or twice.
Yeah, it did, and that also got patched like crazy in the first couple of days.
And that's okay, but that game came out hot out of the gate, and it was like, oh, this is really good. Maybe
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe Spider-Man got delayed once.
I think that got delayed by like a full year, because that was supposed to come out with the movie, I believe.
Yeah, I think it did. That's one great thing about not tying your game into a movie. You can just delay it a year.
I think, didn't Final Fantasy 15 get pushed back several times? Because didn't they rehaul that? Well, I know it's not generally accepted as a totally great game, but I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it was worth the wait for me. So
it started out as Final Fantasy Versus 13.
That's right, because it had all those weird, Yeah,
they were the year of Final Fantasy 13. We only got 3 games out of that.
And I wouldn't say it was totally worth the wait, but I mean, I enjoyed a lot of what they did with the game. There's a lot of things that they could have improved on, and they eventually did, but...
It's a game, it's I think it's probably the first game that Square Enix put out that they really supported for a long amount of time, too. Other than, 11 and 14, but those are MMOs.
I don't know if it was deliberately delayed by choice, but delayed in the sense of it didn't come out a year after the one before, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
Like, they came out and was like, no, we're not going to release an Assassin's Creed this year. Instead, we're going to wait an extra year and get some more dev time under it.
Right.
And they released one of the best Assassin's Creeds they've ever made.
It's true. Yeah, I'm sort of drawing a blank here on some. I feel like there's probably like 1 or 2 more big games these last couple of years that got delayed by at least a couple of months that came out and were better for it. And I'm just drawing a blank.
Below.
Man, so we were talking on We Roguelike It about good games that did not click with us. Man, Below just did the exact opposite for me. Man, that game could have been so great for me. So many people love it, and again, super happy for them. That's just a real bummer for me.
I should really play that before the end of this year.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it's still on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Be curious to see what you think.
It will be forever because it's published by them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them. It's like Sea of Thieves. It's like, why would you pull that off of that service? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And last question here from T-Bomb Rocks. Forager has been doing really well and seems to be this year's Stardew Valley. It's now on Steam, becoming a console soon. Really feels like indie devs nail blending of genres better than AAA in most cases. My question is, what are your favorite and least favorite genre mashups in a game? I'm trying to see Forager. I haven't even really seen a trailer of this game. Genre mashups. Boy, even like 5 years ago, it would have been like first-person shooter and RPG. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of
Borderlands takes that one.
What's that?
Borderlands takes that one. Thank you, Borderlands. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, base builder mixed with third-person action-adventure stealth game.
Well, that's sort of like Monster Hunter plus Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to the point where it had Monster Hunter monsters in the game.
That's right. I forgot about that, yeah.
Like, Peace Walker is an amalgamation of like 7 different things all in one, and it's a beautiful mess.
Peace Walker's great.
You guys ever play the Metal Gear Acid games for the PSP?
I love them.
I did not.
They're some of my favorite Metal Gear games.
That was a fun mashup.
Yeah, a Metal Gear, a turn-based strategy RPG, card-based Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
God, Acid 2 was so good. And it was in 3D. With that stupid cardboard you put on your PSP.
Speaking of a similar mashup, the Kingdom Hearts card game, or specifically the Pokemon trading card game, which no one thought would account to anything, the fact that they released a digital trading card game and then the physical one after the fact.
Yeah, that reminds me of Kirby's Pinball on the original Game Boy, where they took like the boss battles and some of the enemies and some of the stages from Kirby and they turned it into a pinball game. There was that pinball RPG that came out. I don't remember.
Wizorb?
No, that was more like a traditional Arkanoid. Well, that was more like an Arkanoid RPG. But no, there was Rollers of the Realm, I think it was called. It was like a pinball RPG that worked mostly.
What about the pinball platformer that was out last year that I forgot the name of?
Yoku's Island Express?
Yes, thank you.
God, if there's a game that really needs to go on Game Pass, Yoku's Island Express needs to, so more people will play it. That's a blue sky game that I love. Nothing bad really happens in that game.
Have you played it, Nim?
No, I haven't.
Play it.
Yeah, go play it.
I'll look it up.
It's incredible. It's great on the Switch. It's great on consoles. It's great everywhere because it's a great game. And it's not that long. A pinball Metroidvania adventure platformer. Starring a dung beetle.
Yeah.
God, I think Yoku's Island Express has to be the one for me.
Yeah, because no way did Peace Walker is for me, but no way did anybody think that combination would work.
Yeah,
I think that's the key to it. Is you take two things that shouldn't quite work, and then you peanut butter jelly / peanut butter chocolate them, and basically peanut butter goes with anything,
right?
And you put them together, and all of a sudden it's amazing.
Yeah,
and how Peace Walker is probably one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
Yet still nobody seems to give it credit because it was on the PSP.
It's one of the best games of all time because base building is really addictive.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Tetris 99?
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's one of those things where like they announce it and it's like, what is going to be a battle royale? Woo, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they went for it. All right.
Watching some of those top players go at it though, it's like, I just don't know
They're
how.
intense, man.
Yeah. Are you still going for that number one spot, Moon?
Yeah, I will get it eventually.
Okay.
I will get my victory. I need to ideally play it, I believe it's around about midday on a Saturday, is about midnight in Japan.
You got this half-hour window.
Right, you send alerts on your phone.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta go. It's Tetris time.
Yeah.
Man. All right, that's all of our questions for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending them in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. All the cool behind-the-scenes stuff and special episodes, early access. The $5 a month tier is the best one. Remember, it's just a month. $5 is nothing per month. But helps me pay for the show because my job does not pay me. And is also thankless because I have a 2.5-year-old.
Yes. Also, get yourself 100 patrons, please, because that way we get the most entertainment.
You can watch me cry and scream at myself on stream.
If we take however many patrons we have at this moment, and even if we just have that number to $101 backers, that's fine. Just get us to 100.
Yeah. $1 a month. That's all you need to do.
Let you see Boston cry in a corner.
Yeah. Yes. No, just cry in my chair live on stream. It'd be terrible. It's worth it.
Can we play it? Can we have you play it in the dark with just like a spotlight underneath your face?
Sure. We can do that. I've got a light I can probably turn into a spotlight.
I'm telling you, man, I will ship you my PSVR.
Yeah. I think that might be too much. Maybe that'll be the 200 patron level.
Yeah.
At that point, I can just buy a PSVR. Game Club this month is Florence, available on iOS and Android. It's like a 2-hour game, so I haven't started it yet because I don't want to forget it. But maybe it'll be unforgettable. That's our episode this week.
Keep going.
We'll see you all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm not apologizing for that one.
You should.
Get one dad joke in for the week. Okay, Nimp, hit me with your titles.
So I've got Brainless Gaming, Play Your Story My Way, Creepy Vomit Lady, 3917, A Real Platinum God, Praise Admin, 20 runs of Greed More Later, Give Me That Ability, I'm Done, Cute Game Guys, Falling to Their Deaths, It Has Energy, so I installed it, Cute as a Button, Puns Aplenty, Swear Words, Yeah, but you didn't die 1,000 times, and level up those badges.
Moon.
10 to Life. Quote unquote romance, so quotations before and after. Exercise the Demon Inside. Vic Viper Fight. Iconic Hat Effect. So I uninstalled it. Close to Being Litigious, which is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
LMG Life. Lasso a Wild Pig. Act 2 is Spider Time. Oh, Spider Town, I should say. And I skipped one because this is probably going to get my vote, is Hit by a Boat Cop.
I forgot about that. God, this is a lot of titles. Alright, I killed someone with a fish. The Dream Master Fretter. 25 Days, which I think is probably the closest I would want to get to spoiling your Isaac declaration.
Dude, I've been tweeting about it and singing them from the hilltops.
I know. My LMG Life, 3917. It has energy, so I uninstalled it. So I uninstalled it. Either one. 10 to Life, Romance. Close to Being Litigious, Lasso a Pig, and Hit by a Boat Cop, which is really good too.
For me, the top two for me are Close to Being Litigious and Hit by a Boat Cop, because it's the deadpan delivery on Hit by a Boat Cop, but Close to Being Litigious is it's such a nice flow to it.
I think I would vote for Hit by a Boat Cop. I like how that sounds. That's not a combination of words you run into.
No, and
normally.
To be honest, like,
oh right,
Nim's delivery was both deadpan frustrated, and your reaction was also hilarious. As soon as you burst out laughing, Boston, I was like, "This is getting down. This is the title for this week. Why am I even bothering to keep writing more?"
I'm going to circle that one though because I think that's our winner. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're prepped. I like it. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 602 for May 6th, 2019. Hit by a boat cop.
Boat horn.
He was just making sure that I was safe.
Boat horn. So good. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live and watching us. As always, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
And we can stop recording.